up, guys? Welcome to this week's video. I hope everything is going well. I've got a bit of a story to tell you this week, so let's jump right into it. So one thing that I've really wanted to try out lately has been long exposure night photography. I really enjoy night photography and it's something that I do quite frequently, but I've never really tried like astronomy or like galaxy photos. And another thing I haven't done, which is kind of sad to say, seeing as I live in Utah, I've never been to Arches National Park. And so the stars began to align, and this last week I made plans to go and do both at the same time. Now, like I said, I don't have much experience with this, but I do have a friend, Cody Booth. I'll link his channel down below. He does have a lot of experience with this, and he gave me some pointers, and one tip that he did give me was to pay attention to the lunar cycle. When the moon is full, it ends up being quite bright, and it will actually wash out quite a bit of the stars. So if you're going to take pictures of the stars, it's better for you to choose a day where there's little to no moon in the sky. So like I said, this last week happened to be the perfect storm where there was no moon. I had some time off work, and I would be able to go for one night to go and take pictures of Arches. Now, rather than boring you with all the details, long story short, it didn't happen. Now, I did make it to Moab, but because of a few situations, I was in a rush to get there, and by the time I actually got there and got settled, it was too dark already to go out and to test out the trails. And the situations that happened that stopped me from actually making the hike that morning were basically just lack of planning. I didn't think about how busy it was going to be that morning. I was late getting there, and so I didn't have the opportunity to actually hike any of the trails, and I wasn't really looking forward to doing that for the first time in the pitch black. I'm out of shape, and I didn't even look into how far any of the trails were. And I was planning on experiencing all of this for the first time shooting film and carrying my RB67. Now, maybe it was the right decision, maybe it was the wrong decision, but regardless, I woke up that next morning and I decided that I wasn't going to make the hike and the trek out to Delicate Arch for the first time, but I was actually going to plan it out and make a specific trip and accomplish this later this year. So the first takeaway of the video is plan. You need to be thinking about what you're doing, where you're going, what could go wrong, and actually researching these things, which I failed at. But luckily, there were a few places that I passed on my way to Moab that I did want to photograph, and I saw some interesting subjects that I was able to hit up on the way back. So that morning, rather than going to Delicate Arch, I made my way back home, but I made sure to stop and enjoy the journey, which is the second takeaway from this week's video. A lot of times, I know me specifically, and a lot of other people go through this problem, but we think too much about where we are now and what we want to do, what we want to accomplish, what photos we want to take, and we lose track of the in-between, the journey. And oftentimes I feel like that's where the experiences lie. Now, just as an example of this, I was thinking about last year when I worked at a movie theater and I made the same drive every single day to work. And I would make that same drive home every night without fail. And oftentimes there were moments when my brain would just get on autopilot and I would just be driving to work, and I really wouldn't notice anything that was going on. I was so used to and familiar with the same roads that I took every day at the same time that it just became a process that I pushed to the back of my mind and did. Now, this year with the pandemic, I don't have that job anymore, and as I've been searching for new places to photograph, I realized how limited my exploration has been, and I've made it a challenge for myself to take a different route every time I need to go somewhere if I can, and to just be aware of my surroundings. And I've found so many inspirations and new locations for photographs. So without further ado, here's my journey back home. I hope you guys enjoyed some of those pictures in the video, as well as some of the thoughts that I've shared this week. Go ahead and comment down below and let me know what you thought of some of the images, or if you have any additional thoughts on this topic of enjoying the journey or experiencing the now. I do sincerely want to thank you all for watching this video and for joining me on this journey that has been film photography. And I want to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can join us on this journey and see these videos every week as I continue to make them. So with that out of the way, we'll see you next week.